Not yet. No.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Cordy Williams, Health from Within Family Wellness Center, and we're coming live to you. It's probably about 7:35, I guess. I don't know, we're a little late today. And we're coming live for our 27th Health Hack, and we're going to talk about today why C1, the Atlas, is the be-all, end-all to better health. So this bone right here, called your brainstem bone, is the most important thing in your body. It's right underneath your earlobes. You can just go like this. You can start feeling it going left to right there. And if you're subluxated and you're not getting regularly adjusted by a holistic neurological chiropractor, this is probably locked in place. It's not moving at all. And the reason why I wanted to discuss that is because a lot of people don't really realize that the atlas bone or the brainstem bone actually runs life. Like, that's where life expression comes from. So your spinal cord, right, it runs everything in your body, but where does your spinal cord get the messages that it needs to conduct better hearing in your body, to allow your hormones to regulate the way they're supposed to allow your immune system to work, your cardiovascular system, your reproductive system? Any system in your body is ran from your brain, and that communication down your spinal cord and out over your nerves to every cell, tissue, and organ. So sometimes people kind of get confused about what it is that's healing them. They think, even in my office sometimes, they get kind of like, I call it kind of like a subluxated brain, right? Like they get locked into that it's a potion, a lotion, or a pill, or nutrition, or a certain type of device that's going to give them better health. And what that does is give them a false belief system around what it takes to get healthy. It makes them think that like there's this sailboat that they get on and they start and they leave port and they're going to reach this destination or reach this port where everything's going to be great, and that is the panacea of their health, and they're complete and everything's awesome. And health just doesn't work that way. You're constantly doing things to change and better your health. And I say, what I always tell people is, you're constantly doing things to empty the bucket of chemical, physical, emotional stresses that you've accumulated over your entire life. And sometimes we don't really think about that. We don't really see that we're constantly accumulating chemical, physical, emotional stresses. And we've been accumulating them for 20, 40, 60 years, however long we've been on the planet. Every time you get adjusted, you're getting reconnected to life. So there's an intelligence inside your body. Science calls it innate intelligence or inborn intelligence. And that innate intelligence runs everything in your body. It's the reason why the body makes new tissue cells, heart cells, lung cells, why our body was designed so that when we're a little infant, right, when we're a little tiny baby, mom holds us in the crook of her arm, and the distance of the baby is enough where the baby can actually see into the mother's eyes and see from the crook where the baby's sitting to the breast, so it can find the breast. I mean, that's like a genius design. And that's what inborn intelligence is. It's the intelligence that our Creator, call it nature, call it what you will, gave us so that life can express in our body. But as we get older and we kind of fill our brain with all this educated Google, Wikipedia, heard this, I heard this doctor, I read this book, we start kind of losing track of what it is that creates healing. And it's your body. Your body's a self-healing, self-regulating organism. And we know, as holistic neurological chiropractors, that life can only come from the brain down the cord and out over the nerves to every cell, tissue, and organ. It doesn't matter what condition it is. It doesn't matter what label you've been given. You know, some people are given a diagnosis by, you know, Western medicine or a medical doctor, and they think that's like a death sentence. They kind of just like lay down and they're like, okay, I got this condition, it's got a name, and, you know, I'm screwed now. And it doesn't work that way. Your body does not care what the name of the condition is. Your Creator doesn't care either. They could care less. All the name of that condition does is make you a victim instead of a victor. And every time you get that bone adjusted, you're not only moving towards a better physical and neurological health, which is sometimes what people first notice, but you're moving towards a better emotional health. You're moving towards a body that is centered in 100% function. Are we always going to reach 100%? I mean, well, our soil's polluted. We got polluted water, right? We got all this stuff going on. We got all these news channels that are putting all this fear out there, this false evidence appearing real. We have to go on the highway every day, right? That enough is enough stress. So we constantly have to be reconnected to life. There's no condition or name that's too big for your body's healing. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what you've been told. And I got inspired to do this health hack today because there's been some patients of mine that have gotten a little confused about what it is that creates true healing. Some people think that maybe it's something physical they're doing, like something that they're doing with their fitness or cardiovascular exercises. I mean, that's great for your body. Those are wonderful things for your health. It's great to eat organic, but if your body can't assimilate the nutrients that you're eating, it doesn't matter. If there's tons of emotional stress in your life and you're trying to run, lift, or do triathlons to run away from your problems, that's not changing anything. Every time you get your brainstem adjusted, that creates a new and perfect you. It allows neurons to fire and for you to create a new transformation and identity within yourself. Creates a new possibility. And within that creates and causes a process called neuroplasticity to take effect. Because when your brainstem gets rocked and you have that aha moment right after you get adjusted that you can make a different choice related to your life, that you can choose to be a victor, that you can have anything that you want, that you can be abundant, that you don't have to go back to the same abusive relationship you've been in, or you don't have to be in the same crappy job that maybe has been dragging you down, and you can create a new possibility for yourself. Neuroplasticity means that now your brain has created a new rewiring to know that you don't have to live the same emotional patterns that you once did. You can create a new possibility and you have choice and free will. And that happens every time you get neurotransmitters, neurons, and brain chemistry altered in your body. And that only happens by putting your brainstem, your spinal cord, and your nervous system in the right place. I'm reading an amazing book. It's the second book I've read by this lady, by Dr. Caroline Leaf. And she's talking about how emotions and just what I talked about a second ago related to neuroplasticity, how at any point in time we can choose to change our thoughts. And obviously she's a brilliant lady, I totally agree with her. But what I notice about my patients here is that they create new neurons and they create different neuroplasticity and they create a transformational thought pattern that's different than the one they had before when they're getting adjusted at C1. When the brainstem bone's getting rocked, that's what creates a new possibility. And then do we have them do emotional exercises and things that they do on their own? Absolutely. But I had a patient today, her name's Corinne, and amazing lady, she told me I could share this story about her today. And she was in tears as she was sharing with me how grateful she was for the transformation that she's had here and the care she's gotten here. And she had we were both joking because I had organic ice cream over the weekend, and she is a vegetarian, and quasi-vegetarian, kind of eats certain meats at, sometimes, and chooses not to eat predominantly a meat-based diet. So I guess vegetarians are there's no such thing as quasi-vegetarian, but Corinne and I are creating a new label, so there it is, right? We just dropped it on everybody. And so she had this pork chop, and we think that maybe it wasn't totally an organic pork chop. At any rate, her innate system, the inborn intelligence in her body, kind of rejected it. And so today she was on the table, and I adjusted her. And when I rocked her atlas this morning, this first bone, and I put it in the right place, because neurologically we found that one of the legs was short, and that it was disrupting and subluxating not only thought patterns in her life, but her neurology in her life. So she couldn't be the best Corinne that she could possibly be to her husband, her dad, everybody that loves her in her family. When we got it in the right place, she started to express a lot of emotions. And that happens pretty frequently with people. And as we did another technique to release those emotions, we were able to identify that it was related to a lot of moving parts in her life. Things that are happening where she's having to go here and she's taking care of this family member and she's missing that family member. And all these different complex situations are happening right now where she has to kind kind of pick and choose her time and be away. She can't be in two places at once. And she loves both of these men that are really close to her, her father and her husband. And so she's kind of having to be torn in two different places. And so she started to emote about all these things. And I related to her a little bit because I had some ice cream over the weekend. And when I got adjusted today and had an experience today, after I got adjusted, which with this food that wasn't really serving me, I noticed my emotions started to come up about a situation going on in my life. And after I was adjusted, I was able to get the emotions out. And that's the big thing that Corinne noticed. She said, you know what, after I got adjusted, I was able to get all that garbage out and better process it. And so sometimes we think that the adjustment, some people think it's just a physical thing, and some people think it's like just a neurological thing. It's all of that, right? But what it really does is it's a transformation in the body. It creates a new person. It creates a better you, a perfect you. And I just wonder what could happen if we could get everybody checked and corrected. What would begin to change? What would the ripple effect be on the kid that's autistic? The person that feels like they're not good enough or that they don't matter? Or these kids going up and shooting up schools and stuff that are on serotonin reuptake inhibitors, brain-altering chemicals. Why don't we get the first bone checked and alter the chemicals naturally and get all the crap out of their head and get that innate potential, that inborn potential working correctly, and then maybe they would actually feel for a moment that they matter and somebody would be able to break through and get through to them. That's not going to happen in the Western medical model. Definitely not. So I want to just empower you to start asking people that you love, are they getting checked? Do they know of a holistic neurological chiropractor in the area? No matter if you're watching this and you're in a different state, or if you already have a chiropractor, you know, God bless you. Go and ask them, what's the power of the first bone? What's the power of the Atlas? Let's start getting our family checked. Let's get our friends checked. Let's get our brothers and sisters checked, our nieces, our nephews. Let's quit playing around with this. Let's get babies checked. Let's get moms checked. My son's been adjusted since birth. And I'm not saying that to brag, but what if we started kids from the second they come out of the womb? What if we started getting them checked and corrected? The moment they're born, they're coming out of the vagina. You know, if you had to go through the process where there was a C-section, they're coming out and they're getting corrected. I wonder how far-reaching that one adjustment could be, and the subsequent adjustments for the rest of their life could be, to change society, to change their reality, and to transform their life. So if you're watching this video, what I want to offer you is an opportunity to do that. Just call my office, 760-385-8352. Come by, get information. There's tons of online resources that we have on our website, www.healthfromwithinca.com. You owe it to your family and you owe it to yourself. You matter. God bless you. Thank you so much. I hope you got something out of tonight, and I'll see you next week. Take care.